A former slot technician with 12 years inside three major casino chains just shared a list that casino marketing departments actively suppress. These aren't broken machines or rigged games. These are legitimate slot machines sitting on casino floors right now today, generating consistent returns for players who know they exist. But here's what makes this interesting. Casinos spend millions of dollars on advertising campaigns, promotional emails, loyalty program bonuses, and social media posts showcasing their slot machines. And yet, these nine specific games never appear in a single advertisement. Not once. What you're about to learn could fundamentally change how you walk through a casino forever, because the gap between what casinos promote and what actually gives players the best mathematical chance is staggering. We're counting down nine machines that exist in nearly every major casino, but remain completely invisible in all marketing materials. And by the time we get to machine number one, you'll understand exactly why former casino executives debated whether to remove it entirely from their properties. Machine number nine, Blazing Sevens. This is the forgotten machine in the corner that casino hosts never mentioned during floor tours. When former slot technician David walked me through his typical shift, he described how new players would ask him which machines to play, and corporate training materials explicitly instructed him to recommend the newest video slots with multiple bonus features. Never the classics. Never games like Blazing Sevens. But here's what those training materials didn't mention. The quarter denomination version of Blazing Sevens typically operates with a return to player percentage between 94 and 96%. Compare that to the heavily advertised multi-line penny slots that usually sit somewhere between 85 and 88%. And you start to see the problem from a casino marketing perspective. This is a simple three-reel mechanical design with no complex bonus features, no progressive jackpot to promote in advertisements, and no Instagram-worthy graphics for social media campaigns. The volatility is low, meaning players get consistent small returns rather than dramatic winning moments that photograph well. David told me about a regular player named Margaret who played Blazing Sevens exclusively for 8 years. Floor supervisors tracked her play because she represented something unusual in their analytics reports. Margaret walked out ahead more frequently than high rollers betting thousands per spin on the advertised games. She wasn't using any system or strategy beyond simple discipline. She played a machine with transparent math and a higher return to player percentage than anything featured in the casino's email promotions. According to the former marketing coordinator David worked with, internal documents explicitly listed classic three-reel games under a category labeled Do Not Feature in Promotional Campaigns. The reasoning was straightforward. These machines don't generate the revenue per square foot that casinos need to justify premium floor space. Players spend their money too slowly. The house edge exists, certainly, but the combination of higher return percentage and slower play rate means the casino's hold per hour drops significantly compared to modern video slots. Think about the psychology here for a moment. Casinos understand that Blazing Sevens and machines like it don't trigger the same dopamine response as games with frequent bonus rounds, animated graphics, and celebration sounds. The data showed this clearly in player tracking systems. Someone sitting at Blazing Sevens would play for 3 hours on a $100 budget. That same player at a modern multi-line game would cycle through that $100 in 45 minutes. From a pure business perspective, the modern game is superior for casino revenue. But from a player perspective, especially someone who views gambling as entertainment rather than investment, that 3-hour experience at a higher return to player percentage represents significantly better value. And that's precisely why you'll never see Blazing Sevens in a casino commercial, never receive an email promotion offering bonus points on classic three-reel games, and never find these machines featured in the promotional photographs on casino websites. They exist. They're maintained. They occupy floor space. But they're revenue negative per square foot compared to the alternatives, which makes them invisible to marketing departments operating under corporate directives to maximize time on device and minimize player advantage. And if you think casinos hide Blazing Sevens, wait until you hear about machine number 8. Machine number 8, Jacks or Better Video Poker, full pay 9.6 version. This one is so good for players that several casinos have literally removed it from their floors during what they publicly called modernization initiatives. Former pit boss Michael spent 11 years watching the video poker section of a major strip property, and he describes something fascinating about the full pay 9-6 machines tucked into the high limit room. These weren't hidden exactly, but they occupied specific locations that discouraged casual discovery. Far corners, areas near high traffic noise, spots without the ambient lighting that draws players to featured games. The designation 9-6 refers to the payout structure: 9 coins for a full house, 6 coins for a flush. With perfect strategy, this version delivers a return to player percentage of 99.54%. Think about what that means mathematically. A player with proper strategy and a $100 bankroll can play for hours, sometimes entire evenings, with minimal loss expectancy. Some players during positive variance runs walk out ahead after extended sessions. This creates a problem for casino operations that Michael saw reflected in quarterly performance reports. The game doesn't photograph well for social media marketing. There's no spinning reels, no animated bonus rounds, no cascading symbols. It's a static card game requiring decision making and strategy. Casinos prefer promoting pure chance games and advertisements because they appeal to broader demographics and don't require skill development that might discourage new players. But here's where the suppression becomes active rather than passive. Michael described a corporate directive that came down during his 8th year: replace 9-6 jacks or better machines with 8-5 or 7-5 payable variants. Same game, same branding, but different math. An 8-5 version drops the return to player percentage to approximately 97.3%. A 7-5 version drops it further to 96.2%. The difference seems small, but over extended play sessions, that 2 to 3% gap compounds significantly. And the critical detail: corporate explicitly instructed floor managers never to mention video poker in advertisements unless it was a promotional variant with lower base return percentage, but exciting bonus features that tested well with focus groups. Michael told me about a player they called Richard, an accountant who played 9-6 jacks or better exclusively during business trips to Las Vegas. Richard used perfect strategy cards, played a quarter denomination, and maintained detailed records of every session over 3 years. The casino's player tracking system showed Richard's theoretical loss based on his coin-in volume. But Richard's actual results came in well below theoretical because he made optimal decisions on every hand. The casino still comped him rooms, meals, and show tickets based on his play volume, meaning Richard received rewards worth more than his actual losses. This lasted for 3 years until the property removed all 9-6 machines during a floor refresh and replaced them with 8-5 versions. Richard noticed immediately, complained to his host, was told the new machines were upgraded, and stopped playing video poker entirely at that property. The casino lost his business, but corporate analytics determined they were better off eliminating full pay machines, even if it meant losing knowledgeable players who generated minimal revenue. Former slot director Jennifer explained the philosophy behind this during an interview for a gambling industry podcast that almost no one listened to. She said, and this is a direct quote, "Full pay video poker serves a function for player acquisition with high value customers who demand it, but we've made the strategic decision to never promote these games in a mass marketing. Our advertising budget focuses on games where player skill is minimized and house advantage is maximized. It's not personal. It's mathematics." What makes this particularly striking is that 9-6 jacks or better still exists in some casinos. You can find it if you know what to look for, if you understand payable variations, if you check every video poker machine in the high limit room. But casino marketing departments operate under explicit instructions to exclude these machines from promotional materials, email campaigns, and social media content. The game that gives players the best mathematical chance at break-even or better gambling never appears in a single advertisement, while games with house edges of 12 to 15% get million-dollar marketing budgets and featured placement on casino websites. Now you might be wondering if there are any real spinning slots that casinos actively hide. Machine number 7, Double Diamond. This is the simplest slot on the floor that marketing teams won't touch. Single pay line, no bonus rounds, just 3 reels and a straightforward pay table printed directly on the machine glass. The quarter version typically operates with a return to player percentage between 92 and 95%, depending on casino and location. But here's what makes Double Diamond particularly problematic from a marketing perspective. The higher denomination versions, dollar and $5, often deliver better odds than the penny multi-line games that dominate promotional materials. Former surveillance operator Patricia spent 9 years monitoring casino floors and saw something that perfectly illustrates the denomination strategy casinos use to hide better odds in plain sight. A player they tracked named Frank discovered something that most casual gamblers never notice. He would walk past rows of penny double diamond machines, ignore the flashing lights and digital displays of modern video slots, and head straight to a corner section where dollar denomination double diamond machines sat mostly unused. Same game, same 3 reels, same double diamond symbols, but completely different mathematics. Frank understood what casino marketing departments desperately don't want becoming common knowledge. Higher denomination versions of the same game almost always offer better return to player percentages. And Double Diamond makes this particularly transparent because the entire pay table is visible on the machine glass. No hidden formulas, no complex bonus math, just straightforward multiplication that anyone can calculate. Patricia described how Frank would play dollar double diamond for 6 to 8 hours on a $200 budget, and security footage showed him walking out ahead approximately 30% of his visits over an 18-month tracking period. He wasn't lucky. He was simply playing a higher return percentage game at a denomination that most players avoid because it feels like risking more per spin. But the mathematics work in the opposite direction. A dollar single line spin on a 94% return game delivers better expected value than a penny multi-line spin, requiring 40 or 50 lines on an 87% return game, even though the penny game feels safer and gets advertised constantly. Casino marketing teams understand this math perfectly. They also understand that most players gravitate toward games that feel less intimidating, which means penny denominations with exciting graphics and frequent small wins that don't actually offset the higher house edge. Here's what a former marketing director at a regional casino admitted during a gaming industry conference that was recorded but barely circulated. "We had a corporate rule that seemed strange when I first started, but made perfect sense once I understood the player psychology. Never feature any game where the player can see the entire math on the glass. Transparency is the enemy of time on device. If players can calculate exactly what they're up against, they make more informed decisions, and informed decisions reduce our revenue per square foot." Double Diamond violates this principle completely. The pay table shows exactly what 3 bars pay, what 3 double diamond symbols pay, what happens when you hit certain combinations. A player with basic multiplication skills can figure out the house edge within reasonable accuracy just by studying the glass. Compare that to modern video slots where the return to player percentage is buried in mathematics involving bonus trigger frequencies, free spin multipliers, and progressive contribution rates that require advanced probability theory to calculate. The complexity isn't accidental. It's designed specifically to obscure the house advantage behind entertainment value. Patricia told me about training sessions where new surveillance operators learned to identify advantage players and problem gamblers. Double diamond players like Frank occupied an interesting category. They weren't counting cards or using any system that constituted advantage play. They were simply choosing machines with better published odds and playing disciplined bankroll management. Casino hosts received specific instructions about these players according to Patricia. Don't encourage the behavior. Don't offer promotions tied to double diamond play. Steer them toward newer games during conversation. If they ask why Double Diamond isn't featured in casino advertisements, deflect to player preferences for modern entertainment features. Never, under any circumstances, confirm that higher denomination classic games offer better return percentages than the penny video slots in promotional emails. The suppression here operates on multiple levels simultaneously. Physical placement. Double diamond machines often occupy less desirable floor locations. Marketing exclusion. Zero advertising budget allocated to classic single-line games. Host training. Active steering away from these machines during the player interactions. Comp system structure. Fewer reward points per dollar wagered compared to featured games. And the generational replacement strategy. When double diamond machines require maintenance or breakdown, corporate directives increasingly call for replacement with video versions rather than repairing mechanical units. Former slot technician James described receiving explicit instructions during his last 2 years. When a mechanical reel game needs repairs costing more than $1,500, recommend replacement with video equivalent. Corporate wants complete video floor conversion within 7 years. This isn't about removing broken games. It's about systematically eliminating machines where players can see the mathematics printed on glass. And if you think casinos hide simple games, wait until you hear about machine number 6. This one combines good odds with modern features, and that's exactly why they'll never advertise it. Machine number 6, Wheel of Fortune Quarter 3 Reel version. Here's where the suppression strategy becomes almost surgical in its precision. Casinos advertise Wheel of Fortune constantly. Television commercials featuring the iconic wheel mechanism. Social media posts showing players hitting bonus spins. Email promotions offering double points on Wheel of Fortune play. Loyalty program bonuses tied specifically to the Wheel of Fortune family of games. But every single advertisement, without exception, features the penny video versions. Former slot analyst Rebecca spent 7 years tracking performance metrics across an entire casino portfolio. And she explained something that makes the marketing selectivity make perfect sense from a corporate revenue perspective. The original 3-reel quarter Wheel of Fortune machines, the mechanical versions that still exist in some high-limit rooms and older casino sections, operate with return-to-player percentages between 92 and 94%, depending on configuration and jurisdiction. The modern penny video versions that appear in every advertisement deliver return-to-player percentages between 86 and 88%. Same brand. Same licensing agreement with the television show. Same wheel bonus feature and concept. Completely different mathematics. Rebecca described an internal analysis her team conducted comparing player behavior across versions. The quarter 3 reel version saw average play sessions of 3.2 hours on a $100 bankroll. Players hit the wheel bonus less frequently than video versions, but when they did, the payout structure was more favorable relative to the base game house edge. The penny video versions generated average play sessions of 47 minutes on that same $100 bankroll. Higher bonus trigger frequency, more animated graphics, more excitement and celebration sounds. But the mathematics underneath delivered significantly worse expected value for players. Casino revenue per square foot favored the penny version by a factor of nearly 4 to 1. When you're operating hundreds or thousands of slot machines across multiple properties, that differential compounds into millions of dollars quarterly. The decision about which version to advertise becomes obvious from a profit maximization standpoint. But here's what makes this particularly interesting, according to Rebecca. Corporate explicitly discussed the advertising strategy in executive meetings. They couldn't market the good version without drawing attention to the bad version. If an advertisement said, "Come play quarter Wheel of Fortune with 93% return," players might start asking why the penny version they usually play returns 87%. The entire brand positioning relies on players not comparing versions, not understanding denomination differences, not recognizing that the same game name can hide completely different mathematics. So the solution was straightforward. Advertise only the lowest return version, make that version the most visible and accessible on the floor, and let the original mechanical version fade into obscurity through strategic neglect. When a quarter 3 reel Wheel of Fortune machine needed repairs, corporate directives recommended replacement with additional penny video units rather than maintaining the mechanical inventory. Floor space allocated to the original version decreased year over year while penny video versions expanded into premium locations near casino entrances and main walkways. Rebecca told me about a player named Thomas who specifically sought out the quarter 3 real version during monthly casino visits. Thomas had done the research, understood payable differences, and recognized that quarter play on a higher return percentage game delivered better entertainment value than penny play on lower return percentage games, even though the penny version felt less intimidating per spin. The casino's player tracking system flagged Thomas as a knowledgeable player, and floor supervisors received instructions during weekly meetings. When Thomas asked about Wheel of Fortune, hosts were trained to show him the newest video version with enhanced graphics and more frequent bonus triggers. Never mentioned that the mechanical quarter version in the high limit room offered 6% better return to player percentage. According to internal training documents that Rebecca reviewed during her time in analytics, the official guidance stated, recommend video versions when players inquire about Wheel of Fortune family games. Emphasize entertainment features and bonus frequency. Do not discuss return to player percentage variations across denominations or game types. This wasn't about hiding information that players directly requested. It was about shaping the conversation so that return percentage never entered the discussion at all. Focus on graphics, sounds, bonus features, jackpot potential. Never acknowledge that the machine gathering dust in the corner delivers mathematically superior odds for players willing to bet quarters instead of pennies. Now, you might be thinking these are all older games, legacy machines that casinos naturally phase out during floor modernization. But machine number 5 is going to shock you because it's relatively new, it's incredibly popular, and the suppression isn't about removing it. It's about hiding which version you should actually play. Machine number 5. Lightning Link, higher denomination versions. This is where the denomination suppression strategy becomes almost predatory in its execution, because casinos actively market this game while simultaneously hiding the versions that give players the best mathematical chance. Former floor manager Christine worked at a property that featured 47 Lightning Link machines across various denominations. And she described something that should concern anyone who's ever played this game based on casino advertising. Every promotional email, every social media post, every television commercial showing Lightning Link featured penny denomination play exclusively. Players celebrating holds and respends, collecting golden orbs, triggering the progressive jackpots. All of it filmed on penny machines. But the quarter and dollar Lightning Link machines sitting in the high limit section, those delivered return to player percentages between 90 and 92%, according to internal performance data Christine reviewed during budget meetings. The penny versions that appeared in every advertisement operated at approximately 86% return to player. Christine explained that this represented the perfect suppression scenario from a corporate marketing perspective. Same game, same hold and respin feature, same progressive jackpot structure, same audio and visual presentation. But the underlying mathematics shifted dramatically based on denomination, and casino marketing departments understood that they could build an entire advertising campaign around the worst version while never acknowledging better versions existed. A player watching a Lightning Link commercial sees someone betting pennies and hitting a grand progressive. That player walks into the casino, sits at a penny Lightning Link machine, and plays the exact game they saw advertised. They have no reason to walk to the high limit room and check whether quarter or dollar versions offer different return percentages, because casino marketing never plants that question. The advertising shows pennies, the promotional emails feature pennies, the social media content demonstrates pennies, so players naturally assume that's the optimal way to play Lightning Link. But here's what Christine observed over 3 years of tracking player behavior across denominations. A regular named Sarah discovered the dollar version through random exploration during a slow Tuesday afternoon. Sarah had been playing Penny Lightning Link for months based on email promotions she received weekly. She knew the game mechanics, understood the hold and respin triggers, recognized that the grand progressive required all 15 positions filled with orbs or credit values. But she'd never considered denomination differences until she wandered into the high-limit room looking for a restroom and saw dollar Lightning Link machines. She sat down, played one session, and noticed something interesting. The hold and respin feature triggered at roughly the same frequency as penny versions, but the credit values that appeared during respins were proportionally larger relative to her bet. More importantly, the base game seemed to sustain her bankroll longer between bonus triggers. Sarah started tracking her results over the next 6 months. Playing exclusively Dollar Lightning Link, and her detailed spreadsheets showed she was averaging 4 to 5% better return than her previous penny play sessions on what was nominally the same game. The casino's player tracking system flagged this behavior because Sarah's theoretical loss dropped significantly despite her total coin in remaining similar. She was betting more per spin but playing a higher return percentage version, which meant her expected loss per hour decreased even though she was wagering more money. Christine described a conversation with Sarah's assigned host after the behavioral change appeared in monthly reports. The host asked Christine whether she should encourage Sarah back toward penny denominations through targeted promotions. Christine reviewed corporate guidance on the situation and found explicit instructions. When players migrate from penny to higher denominations on the same game family, do not actively intervene. However, all promotional offers, bonus point multipliers, and email campaigns should feature penny denomination play exclusively. Never create marketing materials that suggest higher denominations offer better return to player percentages. The strategy was passive suppression rather than active steering, but the effect was identical. New players would only discover penny versions through advertising, and only the small percentage who explored different denominations through personal initiative would find the better mathematics hidden in plain sight. Former marketing manager David, who worked at a competing property, revealed something even more calculated during an industry conference presentation that was recorded but received almost no public attention. He described the photography and videography guidelines for Lightning Link promotional content. All footage must feature penny denomination play. Filming in high-limit rooms is prohibited for Lightning Link marketing materials. If players in promotional content hit significant wins, production teams should ensure denomination is clearly visible as penny play. The goal is brand association between Lightning Link excitement and penny accessibility. This wasn't accidental framing. It was deliberate construction of a narrative where Lightning Link meant penny slots, where the game's identity became inseparable from the lowest return percentage version. David admitted the strategy worked remarkably well based on player traffic analysis. New Lightning Link players chose penny denominations 93% of the time during their first session. Many never tried higher denominations at all during months or years of subsequent play. The marketing had successfully hidden better versions of an advertised game by simply never acknowledging those versions existed. We're getting to the final 4 machines now, and if you haven't subscribed yet, you're going to want to for what's coming. Machine number 4 involves a game you've definitely seen advertised, but not the version you should actually play. Act 6. So let's review what we've learned from these former casino insiders who spent years watching the gap between what gets advertised and what actually exists on casino floors. Machine number 9, Blazing Sevens, a high return to player classic that marketing departments explicitly categorize as do not feature in promotional campaigns. Machine number 8, 9-6 jacks or better, delivering 99.54% return with perfect strategy, while casinos systematically replace it with lower paidable versions, and never mention video poker in advertisements unless it's a promotional variant with inferior base mathematics. Machine number 7, Double Diamond, where the entire pay table sits visible on the machine glass, making it exactly the kind of transparency that former marketing directors admitted is the enemy of time on device. Machine number 6, the Quarter 3 Reel Wheel of Fortune that returns 6% better than the penny video versions featured in every commercial, every social media post, every email promotion. Machine number 5, Lightning Link higher denominations, where corporate photography guidelines explicitly prohibit filming anything except penny play to ensure brand association with the worst return percentage version. Machine number 4, original Buffalo mechanical reels operating at 93% return, while corporate spends entire marketing budgets promoting Buffalo Gold and Buffalo Diamond at 85 to 88%, with training documents instructing hosts to recommend newest, lowest return versions exclusively. Machine number 3, triple red hot sevens existing only in quarter and higher denominations, with return percentages reaching 97%. Excluded from comp system tier credit bonuses, according to a former casino host, because corporate wanted players steered toward penny multi-lines regardless of mathematics. Machine number 2, 10 times pay dollar and $5 versions delivering 96 to 98% return. So problematic for casino revenue that internal memos discussed natural attrition strategies, letting machines break and replacing them with lower return games rather than maintaining inventory that former surveillance operators described. Watching advantage players seek out specifically. Machine number 1, full pay deuces, wild not so ugly variant at 99.73% return, nearly eliminating house edge entirely. Kept in extremely limited locations with zero advertising ever, floor staff often unaware it exists. Corporate training materials instructing hosts never to mention video poker return percentage variations to players, with former casino vice presidents openly stating the goal is complete elimination within 10 years. Notice what all these have in common: higher return to player percentages, simpler gameplay, transparent mathematics, and zero advertising dollars. Meanwhile, the games casinos do advertise aggressively. Those show lower return percentages, complex bonus features designed to obscure house advantage, exciting graphics that photograph well for social media, and massive marketing budgets that former industry executives admit are inversely proportional to player return percentage. The worse the game for players mathematically, the more advertising money gets allocated to promoting it. Former casino executives revealed this isn't accidental or coincidental. It's deliberate corporate strategy hidden behind the language of floor modernization and player preference for new games. When casinos remove high return percentage machines during renovations, they're not responding to player demand. They're eliminating games that don't generate sufficient revenue per square foot, compared to alternatives that test well, with focus groups prioritizing entertainment value over mathematics. Think about how backward this entire system operates. Casinos spend millions advertising games that deliver the worst expected value for players, while simultaneously hiding, suppressing, or systematically removing games that deliver the best expected value. The marketing inversion is complete and intentional. Modern slot design prioritizes what industry insiders call engagement metrics, which means frequent small wins, regular bonus triggers, sensory stimulation through graphics and sound, anything that keeps players at machines longer regardless of how quickly their bankroll depletes. A former slot analytics director stated this explicitly during a recorded industry presentation. Corporate tracking showed exactly which games gave players the best mathematical chance, and marketing budget allocation was inversely proportional to player return percentage. The worse the odds, the bigger the advertising campaign. And the comp system reinforces this dynamic according to multiple former hosts. Even if players discover these suppressed high return percentage machines, they often receive fewer reward points per dollar wagered, creating a structural penalty for choosing better mathematics. Is any of this illegal? No. Casinos operate within regulatory frameworks, maintain licensed games, and have every right to advertise whatever they choose and install whatever games maximize profitability. But the transparency question remains. Should players know that games featured in commercials often represent the worst odds available on the floor? Should casinos disclose when they're marketing the lowest return percentage version of a game family, while higher return versions exist in different denominations or formats? Every former employee interviewed for this content expressed some level of discomfort with the dynamic. One former slot director said directly, "I knew we were steering people toward the worst games. That's literally what my bonus structure incentivized. It didn't feel right, but that's the business model. This isn't about telling you not to gamble. It's about making informed decisions with your entertainment budget based on information that casino marketing departments actively suppress." If you found this valuable, subscribe to this channel. Content featuring insights from former casino employees is the only way players get the complete picture that corporate marketing deliberately fragments. Let me know in the comments whether you've played any of these 9 machines, whether you noticed they never appear in casino advertisements, whether you've watched them disappear from your local casino during floor updates. And if you want more insider information, Dozens of former casino employees have shared stories about comp system optimization, surveillance capabilities, and which table games casinos quietly hate despite keeping them on floors. Remember, the games casinos advertise most aggressively are usually the ones you should play least. And the games they never mention? Those are worth finding.